to another episode of A Little Box of Paints. My name is Sophie, and today I'm going to do an art activity for grown-ups with another delicious cocktail pairing. Once again, a shocker, it is gin. I think a few of these will be gin, but I promise to add in a little bit of variety for those of you who like to try something else. Today we are going to be doing a type of art that I love to do. I do it with almost every grade that I've ever taught. It's super accessible for everybody. It is a type of drawing. And by the end of this, I'm hoping that you will have a cool piece of kind of contemporary art that you can hang up in your house, so if you like it, if you want to. It is called blind contour drawing. Now, contour drawing is drawing where you only draw the outlines of an object. There's no shading or color or value tones. You do include details. There's a couple schools of thought on whether a contour drawing is one continuous line. For blind contour drawing, I like to keep it as one continuous line, but I just think that's because it's easier. The reason it is called blind contour drawing is because you draw an object, but you do not look at the paper. It is not drawing with your eyes closed, despite what some of my students may think, okay? So we're going to get started. I've got quite a few materials out here and I'm going to explain what they're for. But first I'm going to talk a little bit about the cocktail. I chose today to make my cocktail. It is a gin and sparkling water, and I am drinking the Botanist gin. All right, a delicious Scottish gin from the Isle of Islay. I hope I'm saying that right. It's got a ton of different types of seeds and berries in it. They're hand foraged. It's really, really delightful. I have tried it before once, and I actually just purchased this bottle a little while ago, and I've been really, really enjoying it. Part of the reason I'm mixing it with just a sparkling water is because I feel that the flavor of this gin itself really deserves to be tasted. So I put a little bit of sparkling water, my gin, some ice cubes, and just some slices of lime, keeping it original, keeping it natural. So the Botanist, excellent gin, highly recommend for anyone. Even if you're not a gin lover, you should try this out because it might change your mind. So, it's so smooth, it's delightful. Yeah, let's get started. So, blind contour drawing. We're gonna start out with the drawing part. Okay, you can practice a few of these on your own if you'd like. I recommend it. One of the things that I usually do with my students, of course I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but if you want to, you can, is I have them work with a marker or something that they cannot erase. Okay, the whole point is you shouldn't be erasing when you're not actually looking at at the paper, right? You don't know what things look like, so you're not going to pause and erase. Okay, so I'm going to be using a marker. As usual, I'm using a Sharpie. You can use any marker or pen that you like. I've also got some watercolor paints out here because afterwards, if you'd like, you can add a little bit of watercolor to your work to kind of jazz it up a bit, but it's totally your choice. If you just want to leave it a simple line drawing, that's great too. I have a mirror here because I'm going to be drawing my face. You don't have to draw your face if you don't want to. I just thought it would look cool with some of the other objects that I'm going to draw. Something that is usually handy and that everybody has around them is their hand. That's a great way to practice. Blind contour drawing is by drawing a hand. Number one, hands are hard to draw for everybody unless you practice really hard. And two, I find with blind contour drawing, they actually look like hands. They're pretty recognizable, so it might build your confidence a bit. This type of activity can be done at any skill level, and I guarantee you it's probably going to look as good as somebody who has been doing it for a very long time. Okay, I've got a couple other objects here. I've got my golden pineapple. I'm going to add this into my composition as well, and I might add an apple. I haven't decided yet. So you can draw objects. You can do a portrait drawing, self-portrait with a mirror. You can draw your hand. You can draw anything. You can draw somebody else. Just be aware that the drawing might not look like them, because remember, you are not looking at your paper. The whole reason we do this is to help improve hand-eye coordination. What you're trying to do is have your hand draw what your eye is seeing. Usually when we draw what we think we are seeing, not what is actually there. So part of this activity is to move your eye along the edge of whatever you're drawing. Let's say it's my hand, and have your hand that's actually drawing move on the page at the same time and recreate those subtle lines and dips and curves that you see in the object you're drawing. So I'm going to start out. I find it's helpful to tape my paper down. I'm using a thicker watercolor paper because I want to add some watercolor paint to mine after, but if you're not doing that, any type of paper would be fine. okay? I've got my watercolor paints, I've got a little cup of water, paper towel, and I'm gonna use a bigger brush because I'm not gonna worry too much about painting detail. And I've got my mat because I usually work on a mat. So, cheers. Hope you have fun with this. You're gonna laugh at your pictures, that's okay. You should see when I do this with my students, they all laugh, and I'm like, oh, wait till you see yours, kids. But yeah, cheers. I hope you have some fun with this. It's a fun activity. So, I'm gonna take a look in my mirror, and I'm gonna try and draw my face. Now, because I want this to look kind of like a cool contemporary piece, I'm not gonna actually draw my whole face. I'm gonna just draw half of it and then some of my hair, okay? You can do this however you want. I do suggest, like I mentioned before, that you don't lift your pencil or pen up off the paper because it's hard to find where you started, okay? So if I'm looking in the mirror, I'm gonna actually start drawing from the top of my part right here, and I'm gonna come in and draw my eyes and nose and part of my mouth and then some of my hair down here, okay? So I'm gonna be kind of switching over to the other side. So when I start, I'm gonna think about where on my paper I wanna start with my pen, and since I'm starting at the top, I'm gonna start at the top of my paper. So I'm gonna look in the mirror, and as my eye moves around some of the lines I'm choosing to draw, my hand is going to be moving at the same speed, okay? My plan kind of in my mind right now is to draw my face and then draw the pineapple. I'm gonna do another clip where I film myself actually doing this. You won't be able to see me looking at my face, but you can see my hand movements. And I'll probably time lapse that up for you so it doesn't take too long. And then at the end, we can toss a bit of watercolor paint on it, finish our drink, and you'll have a cool piece of art you can maybe hang up in your house if you feel like you want to do that, okay? So I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna go fairly fast. You might want to take your time, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I'm gonna go. So I'm moving around my part right here, swooping down, side of my face. I'm gonna kind of cut in here and do the eyes. The trick is, guys, you want to try and get as much detail as you can. So now I'm doing the iris. I'm gonna add just a few eyelashes just to kind of get a little bit of that femininity in there, and I'm gonna go down with the nose. I'm only doing half my nose. And then down. And the reason, since I'm not lifting my pen off the page, there's gonna be some interesting connecting lines. Okay, there it is. It's not as good as I thought it would be, but that's okay. If I really cared, I could do another. I'm gonna actually toss my pineapple in here too for fun, because I thought this would be a cool thing to draw. So I'm gonna place this over here, and I'm gonna start at the top and work my way down. And once again, I'm only gonna draw some of the pineapple. So it gives the idea that there's a pineapple here. Don't worry, at the end I will show you my drawing. Yeah, and we can take a look and see. So pineapple, don't look at the paper. It's hard. You're gonna wanna peek. If you do, whatever, don't give yourself a hard time. I have had kids cover their work with a light piece of paper as well, so they can't really see what they're doing, but I mean, you know, you do you, whatever you like, all right? So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna start drawing some of this pineapple. I love all the layers and textures. I actually draw this pineapple all the time. And now if some of my drawing overlaps with the other drawing, I'm not gonna worry about that. Oh, cool. Actually, that looks better than I thought it would. So what I'm gonna do now is I am going to add a little bit of paint to it, a little splash of color, and yeah, we'll see how we like it. You could do a bunch of these and just pick the one you like the best to add a little bit of color. Okay, I'm gonna do that now, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I think the trick with this is to only add a little bit of color, okay? I'm gonna maybe take some more kind of neutral tones. I'm gonna add, let's see here, maybe, actually no, forget neutral. I'm gonna go in with a bit of yellow. And I am going to add some yellow to parts of my pineapple. Now the great thing is, because I used Sharpie, I don't have to worry about smudging it, okay? So here we go. And for the face, you know what? I'm gonna add a little bit of blue and gray. I'm gonna go in and just add a little bit of blue around the eye, just for fun. And I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna take the gray. I'm gonna just kind of fill in some areas here. It's a very light gray. Notice how I'm not worried about staying in the lines, right? This is all very fluid. If I want to add a little more water to it, I can. All right, and there we go. Cool. So let it dry if you added the watercolor paper. If you didn't and you don't like it, do a bunch more. I guarantee you eventually you're going to have one that you like. Another option too is to turn your paper in different angles so that you do get that overlap. Fruit, great to draw. Bottles, anything you would do with a still life, so a drawing of objects that you find around the house. Instruments, I've seen, it's really cool. But I do suggest you challenge yourself. Try and draw your face in a mirror, or at least your hand if you can. I think that would be really cool. If you do this project, I would love for you to send me some copies of it so that I can share with everybody and see what you've created. You can share it on the Facebook page, A Little Box of Paints, or you can head over to Instagram and send it to me. I'm at A Little Box of Paints, and also our YouTube channel. If you want to see some more videos, I've got examples of activities for kids and families and some more for adults, and that is A Little Box of Paints on YouTube. I hope you had fun with this. I'm going to finish my drink and yeah, chat with you later. Cheers. Have fun creating.